up, guys, and welcome back to Sunday Sitdown, brought to you by iBuyPower. We are here with the Apex legend, ACEU.
Yo, what's up?
Sweet, man. So you just got done with the $250,000 COD tournament.
Mm-hmm.
How'd it end up for you?
We actually did really good. We ended up getting second, and we only dropped, before the playoffs, we only dropped one map. And so with our team, we didn't really practice at all, so it all turned out pretty well.
What was playing with Symphony like?
It's not my first time playing with him, but he's a funny dude. He is hilarious, and he's actually going off in the tourney. So yeah, it was good to have him as a teammate.
We posted the clip of him when he put on the airstrike on himself and dropped his teammate.
Yeah, he team killed one of us, and then there's more, don't go in, and then he just runs in there and just ate it. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Do you feel like you were able to switch from Apex to CAD pretty easily? Was it a pretty smooth transition for the day?
I mean, it was pretty easy. I actually played COD growing up. I played a little bit of competitive COD, so it wasn't just fresh into the game. And obviously mouse and keyboard, just aim, point and click. So cool, I mean, it was easy enough.
Cool. Well, the first segment that we do on this show is called Homework, and basically everyone on Sunday night, they're getting their homework done for class the next day. They're getting whatever they need to get ready for work the next morning. So we also did our homework on you.
Oh, God.
So we got some questions for you.
All right.
The first question is, what is a douche deluge?
Oh, my God. It's the funniest video on the internet, I swear. I'm telling you, you just got to look it up.
Look it up.
Hilarious, yeah.
What is it? What, YouTube or Twitter?
I mean, it was on Vine, I'm pretty sure. And so you can go ahead and find it on YouTube. Douche deluge, funniest thing ever.
Cool, man. Was this like an inside joke with your squad or?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I actually saw it on my girlfriend's phone when we were just scrolling through Twitter, and then I had to show more. I had to show Marshall ASAP, and it was just stuck ever since.
That was
so funny.
That was one thing I was gonna ask you about. There was a command, exclamation point, Marshall, in your chat. Can you explain that?
I actually don't even know what it says anymore, because usually there's a love-hate relationship between Moore and my girlfriend Allison, and she always just updates it to just make fun of him. So I honestly don't even know what it says right now, but I'm sure it's funny.
And the classic one was the Do Better Marshall.
Better Marshall. That was amazing. That came from it was a Apex Twitch Rivals event, 1v1s or solos rather. And I ended up killing him, and I just yelled at the top of my lungs, just started shooting his body, and the whole entire Twitch stream saw it, everybody saw it. It was so funny.
That's dope. Before you were ACEU, or Ace, you were Baby Reaps.
Yeah.
So that's your old gamer tag. Where'd that come from? What's the story behind that?
Well, like I said, I've been playing video games my whole life, and my first gamer tag on Xbox was Reaper. I thought the name was super tight. Now that I'm older, not so much anymore.
It's pretty tight.
It's all right, but I was 12, 13 years old, playing all these tourneys at this local LAN center. Yeah. And everyone just called me Baby Reaps since I was just so young.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so just Baby Reaps, and it stuck.
Did you end up changing it from Reaper to Baby Reaps after that?
No, I actually didn't. I just abandoned the whole Reaper idea entirely, but...
That's cool. How old were you when you were doing those tournaments?
I think I was around 12.
Oh, wow.
I played my first tourney. It was a Gears of War tourney. Gears of War 1, obviously, and I think I was 11, 12, one of those two.
Oh, wow.
It was way back.
Do you follow the scene anymore?
Unfortunately, I don't. I love Gears of War, but it kind of fell off for me, so I haven't really watched it since.
That makes sense. So you are super into fashion. Shout out to Rick Owens, Raph Simmons, Chrome Hearts. Talk about those guys, those designers, or whatever those are. What's the deal with the fashion?
I don't know. It's just ever since probably my senior year in high school, I kind of started getting into streetwear. My friend, he bought a lot of shoes, Jordan 1s, 2s, 3s, all that stuff, and then I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. And so that got me into streetwear, and then I kind of developed from being a hype beast to more of just a little bit more of designer head. So yeah, like you said, Rick, Helmut Lang, just I just look up to those guys a lot just because they have awesome designs, they make awesome clothes, and if you look good, you play good, you know?
Yeah.
So there you go.
That's sweet. You have ambitions yourself to like start a clothing line at some point in your life, right?
Oh, definitely. Kind of my end goal right now is like I want to design my own brand, and eventually have my own boutique, my own store, and end up being some old 80-year-old Asian guy selling clothes or something. Like, it'd be a dream come true if I get all that done.
That's sweet. And there's one piece you always wear specifically, and that's the revenge chain.
Yeah, I don't even have it on right now. Funny enough, just a couple of days ago I stopped wearing it because it got replaced. But yeah, the revenge chain. That was my first chain I ever gotten. I got it, I think like 2014, 2015, sometime around there.
What's the meaning of it? Like, what is a revenge change or revenge chain?
Well, all right. So it was put out by someone named Ian Connor, which is someone I kind of look up to. And I don't know, revenge kind of means a lot of things to me. I mean, it's super edgy, but it's like
Yeah.
coming up in CS, there's a lot of people that doubted and said I couldn't do it. And just growing up in general, they're like that. And so this is kind of like, I don't know, I think everyone should have their own type of revenge so they can have their own type of motivation to go and do whatever they want to do or be better at something.
That's sick.
Mm.
That actually is a great transition. Could you read this tweet really
Read this
quick?
tweet.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean to read the whole thread or just the top tweet?
Just the top, or you could read the whole thread, yeah.
All right, so I'll read the tweet, then I'll give background story. All right, so it says, seems my time is running low. Gonna give myself a 400 sub goal to try and reach over the next 2 months. If I make it, I'll continue to full-time stream. If I don't, I'll end up having my CS time to find a job and pursue other things. I love you guys. So that tweet, so if you don't know, I played professional Counter-Strike before I came over to Apex. And I actually got benched from my team. And so I moved over to Arizona, so I have bills and stuff I had to pay. And I wasn't really getting paid since I got benched. So I decided to try and take the streamer route. And so I gave myself the 400 sub goal. And I think it was in I had like 4 or 5 months to do it. And this was when Apex came around, so I started playing Apex a little at the end of my stream after I played Counter-Strike, and I just kept playing it more and more and more, and eventually we just kind of blew up with Apex, and like we recently hit 7,000 subs not too long ago.
Let's go.
We just came a long way, so. But it's cool because Dizzy, I've known Dizzy for years. We go way back. We played on the same team a long time ago, and he said, "You can do it, Ace, I believe in you." I was like, "We're both gonna make it," and then next thing you know, me and him are on the same Apex team, and we're both kind of killing it. So.
Popping off.
Yeah, so it's a pretty cool little story, you know.
Dude, it's so cool. Was Dizzy big back then either?
Dizzy, he had a pretty cool story in CS because like he first blew up kind of because he was stream snipe Summit when he was streaming, and so he kind of blew up from that. And then he was always insane. Dizzy's like his mechanical skill in any game is ridiculous. Like he's just so good. And so we ended up playing on a team for a little bit, and he even played. I remember he played a couple matches in Pro League, I think, with Selfless. So yeah, he had a pretty good story back then as well.
Yeah, at the time of that tweet, he wasn't like Dizzy, the Dizzy that everyone knew, like the Apex Dizzy, though, was he? Or was he getting there?
I think he was getting there. I'm pretty sure he was getting there. It was before he blew up, before he joined NRG. I'm pretty sure, and yeah, so.
Yeah, I feel like even just recently, you've skyrocketed. Your views, your YouTube channel, like all your socials. What has that come up been like? What has it felt like?
I mean, it's been insane, honestly. Like, I would never see myself at like this big. I never imagined it. Like I said, 7,000 subs, and that is it's a ridiculous number,
it's crazy.
Right? I would have never guessed that. So, I mean, it's kind of cool because like, I mean, like I can like go to eat and like someone will say like, "Are you Ace?" And it's like it blew my mind the first time it happened. I would never expect somebody to recognize me out in public, and that's happened more and more. And just like you said, the YouTube's been blowing up. Like everything's just been going super well.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
A lot of it is your style, and it's cool how you talk about your style in real life.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel like that translates to your game and your gameplay?
Well, I mean, just like. I kind of have a unique play style, which is why people like watching my streams so much. Because like, there's always those people out there who are just insane at the game. Their aim is just nuts. They can track, they can flick, but not everybody can move. And like, just my movement and the way I play in these like 1v3 situations is like kind of different than a lot of the other streamers out there. And so I feel like that kind of helps me a little bit.
Yeah, you put out a whole movement tutorial that people went nuts for.
Yeah, the movement tutorial. That is. it's funny because like literally people asked me for months to do it, months, and I was like, I'm probably never gonna do it. It's just a lot of work, and like I tried it once and it was a pain, like trying to edit it myself and get all the clips and everything. Oh, it was a pain. But one day I just sat down and just got everything and just did it. And
Yeah.
it's cool because like now like random people are just like, hey, I've seen your movement video, it helped me a lot. I'm like, hell yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And speaking of your come up story, past jobs, shout out Papa John's.
Old Papa John's, old PJ's. Yep, my first and only real job. Coming out of high school, I didn't have a job in high school until about senior year, and then I became a delivery driver at Papa John's, and it was. I mean, it wasn't the worst job,
Yeah.
but some days it was bad. And I've had some crazy experiences with that, which I'm so glad I'm out of it. Like, ooh, it was bad.
What experiences? Any like crazy stories, funny stories?
I mean, there's always like some like, there's like bad places back where I grew up, like some like kind of just more like rundown, kind of sketchy areas. And there's like times I'm like, I'm about to get jumped. I'm not making it out of here. But the scariest moment was, we have a penitentiary back where I come from, and it's a really big penitentiary. And so I deliver there all the time because just whenever the guards are on lunch, they would order Papa John's. And so one time I'm driving up there, and I just see a bunch of flashing lights outside the front door of the penitentiary, and like full trucks, not just cars, full trucks. And so like I just pull up to the parking spot and I get out with like my bag of just 3 pizzas or whatever, and then I just start walking up and I see like 5, 6, 7 guards just with like strapped. Like they have like M4s, rifles, it was like the whole 9 yards. It was like. I was like, I'm about to not make it out of here, bro. Like, it was so scary.
They got the reflex sight, the
right?
barrel,
They had everything. Oh my
the gold
God.
camo.
I'm just walking up with a bag of who knows what's inside it. I'm like, this is not gonna go well.
That's crazy. He's to deliver to a jail or prison.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Also, I heard that you went through an entire London minor with kidney stones. You had to play through a Counter-Strike.
Yeah, it was awful. So, it was at the Face It minor in, I can't remember. It was in somewhere in England. I think it was London. But the day I was supposed to fly out, I wake up with the worst pain in my life, and I was like, what is happening with my body? It is just over. And so I wait like an hour or two to see if it would go away, and it just doesn't. It just gets worse. So like, I was living with my friend at the time, and I was like, bro, you gotta take me to the hospital. I can't do this. And so the whole time I'm panicking, I'm gonna miss my flight. I get there, check in the ER. Like, yeah, you have kidney stones.
Dang.
And I'm like, oh, I've only heard bad stories about kidney stones. I was like, this is gonna be awful. And so then I waited a day. I talked to my old manager, and he got me a flight the next day. And so day passes, hop on the flight. It was like a 9-hour flight or something. I'm all the way in the very back row, in the middle seat, and I have kidney stones. Like, just so uncomfortable. And it was like, it was the worst experience of my life. But we killed it at the minor. We almost made it to the major. We were 1 best of 3 away against Complexity. So yeah, that sucks.
It's like your Jordan flu game. Right
Yeah,
there.
pretty much.
That's cool. You also, I heard, have a beef, like a big major beef with Dasani water.
Dasani water, yeah. I'll drink any water besides Dasani.
What's wrong with Dasani?
I mean, it's just whack. I mean, shout out my ma Dasani. No beef there, but hey, it's just, all right, they put salt in their water. I mean, it's for flavor, but hey, if you think about it, salt, it dehydrates you, so you have to go and buy more water. It's like 500 IQ marketing strategy.
It's a scheme.
It probably doesn't dehydrate you or anything, but
That's big water just out to get us right
exactly.
Big water. I also heard that you, if you weren't a streamer, that you maybe would have gotten a face tat, or maybe you still will get a face tat and have a future in some SoundCloud rapping.
Oh yeah, I put out this tweet way back, probably 3-4 years ago. I was like, if I don't make it in CS, I'll just be a SoundCloud rapper. Like, I always considered it because like, besides like fashion, like music is a big passion of mine. Like, I draw a lot of inspiration from the music I listen to and those artists. So I was like, hey, SoundCloud, might have to give it a try. Never had to do it yet, but maybe one day.
Yeah, drop a mixtape.
Drop a fire mixtape.
Gibraltar mixtape or something like that.
Ooh.
Gibraltar, Maine. Would you ever really get a face tat though?
Yeah. All right. So I I love tattoos. I don't have any tattoos yet, but I love tattoos. And I would totally get a face tat. My mom, she tells me every day, if you get a face tat, I'm gonna disown you. I mean, she doesn't actually say that, but she just really doesn't want me to get one. I said if I ever get to 10K subs on Twitch, I'll get a face tat.
It would help your Twitch.
Yeah,
Who's the guy? So? Who's the German guy on Twitch who has all the face tats? There's one guy in particular.
I don't know. I've never seen him. That sounds awesome, though.
Yeah, you should look him up and show him to your mom and say, hey, this is how
this dude.
He's super popular. He's got face tats. He's making it.
That'd be tight.
What do you think your first tattoo will be? You think you'll go for sleeves or?
I have a few artists picked out. I'm really like specific about the style, and I'm like into like black work and like fine lines. So BK dot tattooer. I think he changed his name. I can't remember. Like probably 70% of them are all in like Korea. They all operate at like Seoul, and so it's kind of hard because you have to like book the trip ahead, get a flight all the way to Korea. That's not cheap.
Yeah.
And then the tattoo, Jesus. But I probably just get like instead of like an entire sleeve that's like integrated together, I'd probably just get a bunch of like medium, smaller size tattoos and then kind of integrate them together like that.
I also heard out there you're thinking you want to live in California, but there is one issue, and it's you hate In-N-Out.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. I always do.
Yeah, what's your beef with In-N-Out?
I don't know. All right, so, like, I feel like In-N-Out's for, like, people who, like, they were born here, they just live here. And, like, it's not the worst food, right? It's definitely not the worst, but it is so overhyped.
Yeah.
Like, everybody loves In-N-Out. They, like, swear by it. I'm just like, it is not that good. Like,
I'm with you.
Like, it's cheap, and it's good for how cheap it is. But if I want a good burger, I'm going to not go there. I'm going to go to, like, Shake Shack or, I don't know, anything that's not In-N-Out.
Yeah, I got here, and I remember everyone being like, In-N-Out's going to be sick, In-N-Out's going to be sick. And I was like, it's good. I eat it sometimes, but it hasn't changed my life.
Right? It's average.
And when I was doing this research, I felt like I got a lot of stuff came up, and it was just like, were you kind of a troublemaker growing up? Were you a bit of a delinquent?
I mean, what do you mean by delinquent?
Were you ever? Well, I don't want to make you confess to anything on camera, but What were you like growing up? Like,
I mean, I definitely dig into my fair amount of trouble. Like, I was never one for school. I was always just trying to like hang with my friends, just do stupid stuff. My attention span was not there, and so inside of school, outside of school, I definitely did some things that I'm not gonna say.
Yeah.
Just in case my mom watches, I don't want to actually get disowned. But I definitely was a little bit of a troublemaker growing up.
That's cool. I feel like a lot of streamers have, I don't want to say issues, but a lot of streamers
have
are
issues now.
No,
all right, Grady.
no, I don't want to say that at all. But I just feel like a lot of streamers are very independent and like cool and come from like, I don't know, they're creative people, just like any artist, really.
Right.
So we talked about it a little bit, but I think, and I know I started off with this segment, but I feel like we're just kind of flowing through this, whatever.
Right.
But one thing I did want to touch on was Dizzy recently just announced that he was retiring from competitive Apex. So I knew we wouldn't be able to get through this whole interview and not talk about that because I feel like the fans probably want to hear about that. I don't know, I guess your opinion on it. I don't know, what you thought about it, what you know, I guess.
Well, I mean, I know a lot. Like, I was on the team with them, so like I know a lot, and I don't want to like air everything out, but like, Dizzy's my boy. That's like one of my best friends. He's the homie, and I wish I got to play with him more. I was really excited when I joined NRG because I was gonna play with my boy Dizzy, and I wish I got more time and we actually got some more games in. But I'm sure whatever he wants to push through next, I'm sure he'll succeed as flying colors.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a smart kid.
Yeah, it was all love between NRG and Dizzy, and we just want to make sure he's doing what's best for himself and everything.
Always.
So, all love. How do you feel like the state of Apex right now? I saw a really funny clip of you just like really ripping into the devs.
I kind of exaggerated that clip, but that thing blew up, and I feel bad. But because I mean, like the devs, like they're really passionate about Apex, you can tell. But the direction they're taking the game, it's like they just don't listen to the actual people who play the game.
Right.
They really cater towards the casual fan base, and I feel like that's just not the way to take your game, because I mean, if somebody's playing your game for 12 hours a day, they're playing all this competitive stuff, they're going to know what's wrong with the game. They're going to know what the game needs, rather than someone who gets home from work, plays like an hour, and then they just get off. And
Yeah.
it really feels like they're trying to lower the skill ceiling and just keep on lowering it, and it's just not the way to take the game.
Yeah, because then you lose the creators, the
Yeah.
influencers, the competitors.
Hmm.
How important do you feel like your competitiveness feeds your ability to create good content? Like having that skill ceiling be high, how important is that to be able to create, meaningful content?
I mean, it's kind of a weird feeling trying to mix the two because one can't really succeed without the other one suffering a little bit. For instance, like if I'm trying to focus on my competitive side, I'm using like the guns like the R9 Wingman. I'm trying to be as good as I can with the meta weapons. And then people are like, why don't you use other guns? Like over on YouTube, they're like, oh, I post more different content. And so it's like you can only do one without the other suffering, which sucks. And like going to tournaments, like I can't stream when I'm at the tournament, so it's like that's just more days content's gone, more the
Yeah,
stream
that
down
makes
a little bit.
sense.
So
What
it's
are,
hard.
what are some of the changes you feel like you'd make if the devs were like, yo, Ace, we watched this interview all the way through. We agree with you. Dasani sucks. In and out sucks. But how do we make sure our game doesn't suck? What are like some of the quick fixes you'd be like, all right, this is like one thing I'd do.
Remove Watson. She doesn't need to be in the game. Remove Watson. Get her out of there. Nerf the Peacekeeper a tiny bit. Lower the maximum damage. It's ridiculous. Take away skill-based matchmaking. There's no point to have two different ranked modes.
Yeah.
And one more thing. Every legend should be the same size. Like the fact they're trying to have variations, like Gibby being huge as a tank.
Yeah.
And then like Wraith as a small mobile. Like I think it should just be even across the boards. I think.
Yeah, I think it's you put it such a disadvantage. And also like even back to like Halo 3 when it was like you could be an elite or you could be a Spartan.
Yeah.
And it's like no one chooses the elite because it's just way easier
big
to
head.
headshot.
Yeah.
So I feel like with any game you gotta every model has to be the same.
Yeah, but it sucks because like there was a Caustic meta not too long ago before the X Games event. Everybody was playing Caustic, but then the moment X Games came around on LAN, they're so big, you just die if you're playing Caustic. And so it sucks because like these are really cool legends who have a lot of potential, but nobody plays them just because of how big they are.
Yeah, that makes sense. Are there any stylistic changes? Like, how do you feel? I kind of have this theory that one of the things that made Fortnite so big in pop, and I don't want to compare the two games. I never like to compare Fortnite to anything else, but was like the colors and the brightness of it. And I feel like Apex has been trying to, since its release, add some more color, some more pop, some more brightness. I guess, do you have any opinions on that? Do you wish they'd add different skins? Do you think that even matters?
Well, I mean, I feel like that's where Fortnite did great. They did something really smart there because they can literally put any type of skin into their game and it'll fit.
Yeah.
They have the widest variation of different skins and stuff. But with Apex, it's a little bit more seriously toned. It's less cartoony. So you can't really like put in all those like weird funny looking characters. So it kind of sucks because like we're probably not gonna get all that content. But Respawn has really upped their content in the last like season or two. So
yeah, I've noticed. Like when I remember when I first played it, it was just Wasteland.
Yeah.
And then now it's like Ice World and green grass, and you're coming down and it's all colorful, and they're really trying to up
and
it.
Stuff. Yeah, like the first time I dropped into the new map, the first thing I saw was like all these colors, this lava over here, this big like glacier. It was super cool.
Does that environment help you play for more than 3 hours or 6 hours? Like, does living in the Wasteland environment, was that tougher?
I feel like it definitely adds a little bit more like variety. So it's not like as stale. You're just going through the same like desert area the whole time. So it definitely helps a little bit, but it's fine.
Yeah, that's cool. So what do you think is the future of NRG Apex? We're moving on. I guess we're gonna have to pick up a new member. How do you feel like we're gonna move on from here?
Well, it's definitely not easy. That's for a fact. Me and Moore have been kind of stressing these last because like we've known for a while now, and so like we've been trying to find a new third, but it's so hard because there's not a lot of free agents. Like everybody and their mom is signed already, so it's like we've been like kind of digging deep, looking at different options, and we're just gonna have to find a third here soon, and hopefully they're a good fit.
Cool, man. Cool. Well, that's really all we got for today on today's Sunday Sit Down. So thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like and comment and subscribe. Ace, if you want to plug your channels.
Oh yeah. Follow me on Twitch at ACEU, ACEU. Follow me on Twitter at LetMeAce. And follow me on Insta at WINN.VN.
Awesome. Later.
Peace.